Right. Yeah. Yeah, boy, Amstrad Action. It's that time of the week again. We open up another magazine and see what happened at this point in time. So we've got issue number 63, December 1990. £1.60. Well, yeah. Probably going to keep going up, I guess. Britain's best-selling magazine for the CPC 464 6128 Plus GX 4000 console. Not an official Amstrad publication. All graphics and no gameplay. Shadow the Beast stunned on the Amiga, but exactly how good is the Amstrad version? Guess we'll get to find out. Winner TV and video. An amazing £600 worth of gear up for grabs. The 50 best games of 1990. The games you simply must not miss. Confused by computers, baffled by the basics, puzzled by programming, ask Alex. New beginners section starts this month. And on the grapevine, read the latest games gossip. Programming in 3D, adding an extra dimension to your routines. Storm warning, a brand new games label is launched. Gremlins graphics, exclusive interview. All this and so much more inside. Also, Snowstrike, Kickoff 2, SimCity, Sherman M4. Schwarzenegger stars in the movie. You star in the game. Total Recall. Experience the horror as your dreams turn into hideous nightmares. Suddenly, your every move is monitored by would-be assassins. You discover the surreal truth. You're not you. You're me. Wonderful. Computer Shopper Show 90. Wembley, London, 6th to 9th of December. Just about everyone can save pots of money buying presents at the Computer Shopper Show. An exit poll at last year's Computer Shopper Show revealed that 95% of visitors reported substantial savings from their purchases, with individual figures ranging from £50 to more than £1,000. One-stop shopping for all your computer Christmas presents. Hundreds of stands packed with special show bargains. Expert advice to help you make the right choice. Now, that wasn't enough. Count special vouchers on this leaflet and save up to 70p off the price of your ticket. Amstrad Action, December 1990. A lineup. Got the regulars. I haven't seen all the latest news, reaction, 4 pages of readers' letters. On the grapevine, news, previews, and the latest games. Forum, all your technical troubles solved. Ask Alex. Are you a helpless beginner? This is the section for you. And it's still promoting cheat mode too, of course. The Bullrog, the hairy fiend, presents his regular monthly adventure column. Type-ins, programs for you to key in yourself. And so on. Learn to read with Prof. Prisma Software launches its new interactive educational packages on the CPC. Books, audio tapes, and computer games combined. Programming in 3D, Conrad Besant explores the maths and theory behind 3D computer graphics in a new tutorial series. Storm warning, James Leeds attends the rough and rugged launch of a new force in computer gaming. All graphics and no gameplay. Psygnosis' Shadow of the Beast set new standards in graphics on the Amiga. Is it an impossible act to follow on the CPC? Rate TV and video, plus 10 runners-up prizes, don't miss it. The 50 best games of 1990. Part 1 of 2-part AA end-of-year retrospective. Did they all stand the test of something? We don't know what. Just a test of something. Golden Axe. Screenshots of all the versions. Take the challenge. The evil Death Adder has kidnapped the king and his daughter and is lurking in his lair for the princess with the precious golden axe. Only you can rescue the rulers of the land of Uria and set their people free. But you can battle through the 6 levels of this action-packed quest. It is faithful to the coin-up original. But can you battle? Okay. Use magic to blast your enemy, dash and hack with your trusty weapon, or climb onto the back of a fire-breathing Bizarrian. to deal death to the foe. Hectic combat action awaits you. Gremlins graphics. Gremlins Shadow of the Beast and other forthcoming products, including the amazing Switchblade, impressed us so much we wanted to know more. Rod Lawton spoke to Gremlin's technical chief, James Northhearn, about the company's approach to Amstrad graphics and the new console. All Gremlin games at the moment seem to be using the 4-color mode. Is that a general decision that you've made just to get better resolution? It's down to what suits the game, to be honest. Most people tend to the opinion that if you use a 16-color mode, you can do a much better job than with 4 colors. We don't believe that. We think it's horses for courses. We're working on a couple of products now, one of which will be in 16-color mode because the graphic style and the game style suits a lot of colors, but fat pixels, if you like. The ruggedness of the resolution isn't a problem. A lot of companies in the past have done conversions of Spectrum games to 4-color mode because the resolution is the same, but monochrome. But we don't do that. We use 4 colors. If you look at Shadow of the Beast, the artwork, and that is bloody superb, I think. Now that isn't done in 2 colors. It's not flat artwork, it's 4-color artwork. The Spectrum version is very good, it's excellent, but the Amstrad one is better. Is it easier to program faster running games in 4-color mode? Lotus Esprit, for example. It depends on how you organize your graphics. We can work faster on the screen in 4-color mode, but one of the other advantages of using 4-color mode is the fact that you can store a lot more graphics. And also, because most games now are compressed, to squeeze them onto tape or disc using 4-color, we are able to produce better compressed graphics. So you can produce bigger games and make them run faster. Exactly. And also, I think, in a lot of cases, look more attractive and interesting. How about the console? Is it easier to program than the old CPC? It's not easier, it just offers better facilities. But we are very aware of the fact that, on the console, because it can achieve more, you have to do more. We have no intention of taking existing standard Amstrad stuff and just porting across. I don't think that's fair to the public when it's so expensive to buy. Yeah, I wonder if you told Ocean that. Shadow of the Beast, bloody superb artwork. Although they're based around the same hardware, do you have the right games for the CPC and the console from the ground up? I'll put it this way, the difference could be as great as the difference between the Spectrum and the normal CPC. To write a console game and a normal CPC game, you could realistically be looking at writing for 1.5 formats, if you like. They're not completely different. You wouldn't have to sit down and write 2, but it depends on how much individuality you're going to give and how much the resources available on the console you're going to use. The main things to consider are first of all the scrolling on the machine. By adding the hardware scrolling, it frees up an awful lot of room on the machine. Because to get smooth scrolling on the Amstrad, normally it takes a lot of space. There are several techniques for doing it. If you build them out of blocks, you can store pre-shifted blocks. Or there's another alternative that's often used. That is to use pre-shifted screens. But all those things take up space, which affects the game itself. So just removing those allows you to do a lot more with the machine. So the extra console hardware allows you to write bigger games for the same amount of code, if you like. Exactly, that's exactly it. The console 64K should allow you to do a much better job with a product than you could do on a normal machine. And that's what we aim to do. One of the biggest assets of the machine, I believe, is in fact the fact that you can predetermine the colours, which allows much nicer graphics before you were fixed. I mean, the extended palette, the Amstrad colour range was quite nice, but it was only 27. Now, though, you can get a much better match of colours, with better fading effects, etc. The ability to interrupt as well down the screen. The extra facilities have added there. You can add effective colour displays that the machine itself helps you generate. It's been well thought out. The basic CPC has been out for 6 years, but the games are still improving every year. Do you think it's going to take a long time for programmers to really get to grips with the console? I think the fact that the CPC is obviously well established and all the major writers and publishers have a good understanding of what the CPC is able to do is important. Basically, we're looking at a CPC with features that have been added. It's easier to say, we could do that before. Now we should be able to do this. the technology they have Amstrad adopted to improve the console of facilities available on other machines, namely the 16-bit machines. So the understanding of how they can be used to improve games is already there. It seems to me that what they've done is taken the basic machine and looked at what was offered on the other machines and how they could improve it. And I think they've got it right. Read the reviews. Gremlin's Shadow of the Beast gets reviewed on page 50 this issue. And next month we'll be checking out the stunning Switchblade. Don't miss it! Amscene. Disk drive breakthrough. The Amstrad 464 Plus now takes an external 3-inch drive. Despite fears that Amstrad's new machine would not accept an external drive, limiting its users to tape or cartridge-based software only, those boffins at Wave and Microstyle have, between them, worked out how to do it. All it requires is a modification to the disk drive interface supplied with the DD1 drives, and Wave is to offer this service to any 464 owners who have these drives and who have been put off upgrading to the Plus version. Price and other details had not been finalised at the time of going to press, so if you want to find out more, get in touch with Wave. Drive double. Larger 3.5-inch drives have always been a popular choice when it comes to second disk drives for the CPC. The advantage is that these drives are capable of storing much more information on a disk than a 3-inch drive. The disks are far cheaper too. The problem is that to take advantage of the extra capacity available, you also need an extended disk operating system. Without one, the capacity is reduced to half that of a standard 3-inch disk. This is because they cannot be flipped in the same way, so that only one side of the disk can be utilised. Microstyle is set to change all that. Its 3.5-inch drives are now being supplied with a special switch. In one mode, it uses both sides of the disk so that the big formats can be used. In another, the different sides of the drives can be selected. This is equivalent to flipping the disks over, so in effect, you get 2 disks in one. The drives can be supplied with connectors for either the CPC range or the 6128 Plus. They cost $79.95 plus £3 postage and packing. Microstyle will also supply a kit giving the details on how to perform the operation on your existing large capacity drive. The kit costs £3 and comes complete with parts and instructions. Wave goodbye to green screens. Wave have also been busy on another front. Mono monitor owners who are fed up seeing their favourite games in green now have a chance to put a bit of colour into their lives. CPC monitors have never been available as separate items. Consequently, people who bought green screen machines but later wanted to upgrade to colour have only had the option of using a TV modulator. As well as tying up the family TV set, there's also the disadvantage of lower picture quality than available on a monitor. Well, now Wave has secured a number of shop soiled and ex-demonstration models that are being sold individually. There are 2 types available, the CTM 640 for 464 owners and the CTM 644 for the 6128. The monitors are priced at £99 each, and you'll need to add £5.75 for postage and packing. Stocks are low, so you'd be advised to act quickly. If you're interested, Wave's address is printed above. Tired old format. Yet another all formats computer fair is on its way. This regularly held show, which resurfaces every 6 weeks, is popular with both the public and exhibitors alike. Stands are very cheap, around £75 a day, resulting in all manner of companies renting out space. The last all formats computer fair of the year will be held on the 15th of December at New Horticultural Hall, London. Perry leaves Amstrad. Roland Perry, Amstrad's long-serving technical manager, has left the company to set up his own business, Perry Technology Consultants. Roland worked for firms like ICL before joining Amstrad as group technical consultant. Roland was responsible, of course, for the birth of the CPC 6 years ago, and even inspired a series of Roland games on the machine. And one of the last projects he worked on was, again, the CPC relaunched as the Plus range. If you should require Roland's services, then you can get hold of them at Perry Technology Consultants. Orb number. For those of you wishing to order PS headings from Orb software, would have found that the telephone number we gave you doesn't actually ring any bells. We missed out one teeny weeny digit. Unfortunately, that oversight was enough to render the number entirely useless. Orb's real number is 08169085334. Alternatively, you can write them. Amstrad's profits down. Amstrad's profits dipped again for the second year running. The company's turnover fell from £626 million to £577 million, while pre-tax profits fell even more sharply from £76 million to just £44 million. This is after they stood at a rather more healthy £160 million the year before last. Hopefully, Amstrad's decision to back the new Plus range and GX4000 consoles should put them back on the road to more prosperous times. Shopper Show Bonanza. Bargain hunters will be queuing in droves in early December this year. Why? Because from the 6th to the 9th of December, the Computer Shopper Show is being held at the Wembley Conference Centre. Last year, the event proved to be so popular that people had to be turned away as the venue became filled to capacity. Nearly 30,000 visitors poured through the doors of the Alexandra Palace on that occasion. Well, this year, 40,000 people are expected to turn up. Thus, the show has been extended as well as being held at a much larger venue. The show is aimed squarely at the punter looking for pre-Christmas bargains, and the box pushers are there in force. It's not the place to go if you're on the lookout for revolutionary new products, but you'll find hundreds of products at a knockdown price. As well as bargains, the show will be raising cash for charity too. Proceeds will be going to the Starlight Foundation, the charity set up by Dynasty star Emma Samms. The charity aims to grant the wishes of terminally ill children. Last year, almost £2,000 was raised for Childline. And you can save even more dosh thanks to Amstrad Action. Cut out the voucher below and you'll save 50p off the entry price. Family tickets, which admit 2 adults and 2 children, are reduced by a further £4. Normally the cost of an adult's ticket is a fiver, a child's £3.50, and a family ticket £12. We've got the charts. Notice a slightly new look chart section this week, with last month's chart positions shown in grey alongside. Shadow Warriors is still there at number 1, we note. But what about Back to the Future 2? Up to number 2, despite the kicking we gave it in AA. It's amazing too to see these old stages, Chase HQ and Robocop are still going strong. Full price games, software priced over £4.99. Got Shadow Warriors by Ocean, Back to the Future 2 by Microsoft, Chase HQ by Ocean, World Cup Soccer 90 by Virgin, Harricana by Rainbow Arts, Robocop by Ocean, Bomber, I think it's Bomber Fighter Bomber by Activision, Manchester United by Chrysalis, TNT by Domark, Dragons of Flame by US Gold, Heroes by Domark, Heroes of the Lance by US Gold. The D&D stuff is popular. You'd think they'd have made more of them. Gunship by Microprose, Batman the Movie by Ocean, Gaz's Super Soccer by Empire, Football Manager World Cup by Addictive, Fun School 2 by Database, Battle of the Bulge by CCS, World Cup 90 Comp by Empire, Italy 1990 Winners Edition by US Gold. Budget game, software priced under £4.99. Quattro Adventure by Codemasters, Quattro Combat by Codemasters, Guardian Angel by Codemasters, Quattro Super Hits by Codemasters, Restan by Hit Squad, Run the Gauntlet by Hit Squad, Paperboy by Encore, A Question of Sport by Encore, Pro Golf by Atlantis, and The Wombles by Alternative. Hey, The Wombles. Wacky, unbelievable value, unbeatable service. Reaction, what, us cause trouble? No, never in a million years. Bye bye buyer's guide. Yes, this is one of the begging letters you've been expecting. Please, I'm asking really nicely, continue the buyer's guide. I've bought several games, etc. from it, and have had many happy hours through this brilliant, cringe, look at the boots idea, which I'm sure you are behind. That's enough crawling. I hope my letter is the 1100th letter. Once again, please continue, Buyer's Guide. Lucy Dawn McKinnon, Doncaster by Dingwall. Can we really be talking about the same Buyer's Guide? Wasn't that good, surely? Anyway, get off the floor, Lucy Dawn. It's no good prostrating yourself. Yours isn't the 1100 letter we've received about the demise of the BG. Actually, it's the first, so it doesn't look like it's coming back. Sorry. Mind you, we've just had a minor brainwave. What about a games buyer's guide? This would be easier to update and would probably be of more interest. Let us know what you think. The light pen is mightier. It was my birthday on October the 3rd and I asked for the Electric Studio light pen. I rang up Electric Studio and asked whether the price was still the same, but the answer was that they didn't make it anymore. Are you playing a joke on us putting it in the buyer's guide, or didn't you know? Lawrence Hartgill, Basingstoke, Hants. See, another reason why Buyer's Guide went west. It was deliberately and maliciously presenting false information. Good riddance to it, we say. Actually, the Buyer's Guide needed a lot of updating. And considering it wasn't that popular, we made the fateful decision to replace it by something better. Oh, and by the way, belated birthday greetings. The males react. A typical female, no sexism at all. Computer Mags deplores Catherine Dawson in AA61, then blatantly states that women are the superior sex in anything they turn their hand to. I suggest there would be an outrage if the reciprocal statement came from a male, yet this will undoubtedly go unnoticed. I challenge you in asking how many female readers have learned BASIC at 8, programmed adventures, etc. Needless to say, BBC BASIC is not an essential requirement to mastering the computer. Basically, it all boils down to males versus females again. Females say that they want to be equal to males in everything, if not more equal. Yet, who is the first to get into the lifeboats of a sinking ship? Who are the first to leave invaded Middle Eastern countries? Don't mistake me, I'm in favour of females equal males. But this way out clause and as above, females greater than or equal to males is just tiresome. M. Ray, male. Perhaps pent-up frustration causes some females to go too far when stating their equality. Instead, they end up stating their superiority. It only enrages males, who would otherwise be happy to embrace females as their equals. Are you by any chance related to Fay Ray, the ultimately exploited, helpless, screaming female in King Kong? I cannot control my anger at the absurd letter written by Catherine Dawson, AA61. She got her knickers in a twist over feminism and talked, waffled, on about the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. A huge majority of AA readers are male, and all mags try to please the majority. To say that all women are better than all men at anything, especially computing, is totally pathetic. I think Miss Dawson wants to wake up. If women were masters at computing, then there would be more than the odd woman computer expert / programmer. Males as a whole are better at computing than women as a whole. That's a fact. That's called a fact. According to her letter, some superwoman learnt Amstrad Basic at the age of 8, wrote an adventure game and learnt BBC Basic at 10, and taught it to all her female friends at 12. Well, I learnt Basic at 4, machine code at 6, and I was a millionaire by the age of 10. And I then taught all my male friends, and they're all millionaires now as well. I own half the world. I own the other half. And own half the world. I own the other half. Us males don't need to start groups for men in computing because this industry is hugely male dominated, unlike women who need their own groups, one of which she is starting up. I hope next time Miss Dawson will think about what she writes before she does so and doesn't turn a blind eye to male superiority in most industries. Mark Perella, Monmouth, Gwent. P.S. Thanks for a great cover tape. Hang on a minute, this is just about the most outrageous reply I've ever read. A field dominated almost entirely of boorish, bigoted males is hardly an attractive or an easy one for females to enter. That they do so at all is, to my mind, startling, and to their great credit, okay? Yes, well, I think this is what's called stirring up a hornet's nest. The letter that started all in AA61. Amstrad Action is just not serious enough. I'm seriously disappointed with the way in which Amstrad Action is evolving. There seems to be fewer and fewer articles on serious applications, such as the excellent comms article in the March 1990 issue. The extended games section no longer describes the game's suitability on a green screen, and the once excellent PD section has become an AA guide to copyright law, without a single reasonable review since that woman took over. Oh no, I've got another that woman. Ugh. To add to all this, we are now about to lose the buyer's guide. Maybe it's time to rename the magazine Amstrad Games. Maybe it's time for me to look elsewhere for quality information. I hope I'm not the only one to write to you about these matters, and that you'll seriously review your editorial policy. P.G. Gardiner, Welwyn Garden City, Hertfordshire. Every issue contains at least one serious review. As people write the stuff, we report on it. Maybe it's the software publishers you should be complaining to. We will still cover applications such as comms, but must reflect the changing face of Amstrad computing. This means representing the inevitable shift towards games caused by the Plus range and the cartridge systems. The popularity of green screens, especially amongst games players, is diminishing fairly rapidly, and we've changed our policy so that we will mention in the body text of the review whether a game is not playable on these monitors. The PD section certainly covers serious software as well as games and demos. Ms. Lamb has certainly covered the copyright laws, but it doesn't do so every month. She is as interested in serious software as the next person. Joking aside, there was a considerable amount of mail in favour of abolishing the buyer's guide. People apparently felt that the pages could be better utilised, and coincidentally so did we. Out of his tree. Please, can you help? The Amstrad Users Group can't. My father and myself are putting together a family tree, but the amount of papers with aunts, cousins, great-grandparents would fill a tea chest. So I thought of my 464 Plus. There must be a program somewhere that would help. Do you know of one? The only one the Amstrad User Group could suggest will only work on a PCW, not on a CPC. I'm not changing my 464 Plus just for the family tree. Please, do you know of a program I can utilise on my 464 Plus? It could be a tape or disc. Please, pretty please. That's enough grovelling. Also, do you know when the new cartridge games will be available for the new 464 Plus? DRAM's bottom, Hull, Humberside. Firstly, we're confused as to what computer you actually possess. If you have, as you state, a 464 Plus, you must have got it very quickly. And how do you load discs into it? We didn't think that anyone had made a lead capable of doing that yet. Cartridges are becoming available now, with such games as Fine Forget 2 and Switchblade being first onto the shelves. Anyway, we aren't currently aware of any CPC family tree generators, but some enterprising soul must have written one. If that person is you, please get in contact with us and we'll let everyone know. I'm really angry, me. I'm really angry. Either our milkman/newsagent, that is Mr. Gooch, nicked my cover tape, which I doubt, from issue 61, or your distributor nicked it. What should I do? Our milkman/newsagent rang your distributors, but nothing seems to have come of this. As this is the only time I get new software, I feel cheated. Simon Clark, Linton, Ross on Y. P.S. I've now subscribed. Hey, that Mr. Gooch is amazing. Not only does he deliver fast bounces to the West Indies batsmen, but he delivers milk and papers to Simon Clark as well. We suggest that if you receive an AA which doesn't have a cover tape and is supposed to have one, you should ask your newsagent for a replacement, as occasionally they do come adrift. In your case, Simon, that would have been difficult because your newsagent appears to be captaining England in the first leg of an Australian tour. Subscribing is a fine solution. Well done. Mad is a small houseboat to keep small children amused during the hot days. Simply use a chisel to prise out all the keys from the front of your CPC, mix them in a bag to hand out 7 to each child. They must make a word out of the letters they have been given. The child who makes the longest word wins. Unfortunately, once you have done this, your CPC will never work again, but the infants will have many minutes of fun playing the letters game, as I call it. Jigsaw 1000 owners note, you won't be able to play this game. So J. Ledbury, Glamorgan, Wales. That's quite enough for that, thanks. Mr. Ledbury is winner of the Maddest CPC Owner of the Year competition. He wins a ton of nitrogen. Iron Man gets metal fatigue. The game you gave free with your October magazine is not the best because 1. If you go forwards, you go backwards. 2. The brown car gets the points in nitros. 3. You always get last place. 4. You don't know which is your car's front. Please, can you help me if I'm doing something wrong? Raj Logan, Sutton Coldfield, West Midlands. Actually, I might be driving in reverse. Try going the other way. Use the accelerator button to move forwards and left and right to steer left and right. And if you're still no good, practice. Snark, no one had the guts until now. On the grapevine. News, views, previews, scandal, gossip. The place where we bring you up to date on who's who and what's what in the big wide world of computer entertainment. French software house Loriciel has gone absolutely balmy. We had a huge package delivered to us the other day containing about 24 transparencies and a mammoth press pack that it took us the rest of the day to read. The thing is, we know that some of these aren't Amstrad screenshots, but we can't be too sure, see? Anyway, they should give you an idea what the games will look like. We don't have the firm release dates yet, but Loriciel promises in its blurb that they're definitely on their way. There's nowhere near enough room here to describe them all in detail, so here's a quick flick through. Console news. The following 2 Loriciel screenshots were not only taken from the Amstrad, but that of a forthcoming console game. Shock horror. Copter 271. This is exciting. We'd never seen or heard anything of this one until the trannies appeared on our doorstep just the other day. It looks like a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up of some sort, but we'll let you have more info when we've got it. Even now, our spies are at work. Advanced Destroyer Simulator. Tempting to believe, yes, but it's not a Codemaster's license. It is in fact a filled 3D World War II destroyer sailing simulator, which promises 15 different missions, as well as detailed maps, damage reports, torpedoes, confidential captain's diary, map zooming, and oh joy, binoculars. Advanced Destroyer Simulator, no, it's not by the coders. Oh, Panzer Kickboxing. None of us know what Panzer Kickboxing is, but we're prepared to hazard a guess that it's some kind of martial art. 1 or 2 players can take part, and you can select from 8 combatants, with 56 attack positions. It sounds like there's enough waggling to keep the most demented psycho happy. Quadrille. This colourful puzzle game reckons to tax your strategy and intellect. You have to place tiles of different colours on a draft board type playing area in such a way that your opponent can't put one of their own tiles in such a way that no square close to the edge of the board should be of the same colour. Well, we're sure it'll make sense when we see the rules. Outboard. This is a waterborne vertical scroller that has you racing your powerboat over a whole season. You also get to buy fuel, upgrade your motor, and get in some training. Now, peering closely at that screenshot, we reckon that might be even be from the console. We're not sure, mind you. I'd say no. Going green. Just like the real thing, only better, claims this press release from Electric Zoo. Well, this one has to be good, doesn't it? Thing is, it's describing Magic Garden, the company's new horticultural simulator. Why, what would you think it was? As far as we can tell, it's basically like SimCity, only on a slightly less ambitious scale. Your job is to turn your garden into a miniature paradise with the help of your garden gnome, Grobble. Well, listen, it could happen. While battling against the destructive attentions of other less friendly gnomes, it should be appearing on the Amstrad early next year, just in time for spring planting. Would you buy a hardy perennial from these people? Gaza. I'm not going to read that because that's read text on everything. But it's Gaza. The Magician. Very strange. Just so happens that one night you turn into a magician. What's more, you're trapped in an apparently never-ending library with a load of belligerent toads and nasty traps. It's a horizontal scroller with just one huge level. Magician should be hearing a spell. Ho ho. Super Squeak, the follow-up to the hubris puzzler we reviewed over a year ago. Again, Squeak has got the painter's planet pink instead of blue, but this time there are some added twists, such as the two-player option levels with 2 floors and a shop. You can buy some extra goodies to help you on your way. Builderland. In this arcade adventure, you control an incredibly cutesy character wandering around a world full of warriors, flame monsters, cave monsters, and the like. There's a usual crop of potions, weapons, and keys. Builderland puts you up against the usual fairy tale monsters. Sneak Turtle Preview. We've wrangled an early screenshot of the eagerly awaited Turtle license from Mirrorsoft. We were half expecting a Specky port, but oh joy! What we've got here ain't no Specky port. As a matter of fact, it looks very good indeed. More news as and when we get it. The turtles are coming to town. Adam meets the pizza gobbling Wossocks themselves. Best foot forward. After its fanfare launch of Robin Smith's International Cricket, Challenge has now come up with another licence, this time centering on the UK's favourite sport. No, football. Trevor Brooking's World Cup glory will be a detailed and realistic management sim. Now, come on, read the rest. With an emphasis on strategy, tactics, and gameplay. It's a rather long time after the World Cup, of course, but that shouldn't be a problem for dedicated footy fans. We've got Disc, another puzzle game. This time there's a sporty angle as you run along a tiled pavement lobbing a disc at the tiles on your opponent's side. He, not surprisingly, is doing the same as you. Coders Chart Bonanza. Codemasters have been digging into the statistics again and has come up with some remarkable figures. The coders are selling more games than any other publisher. Over 25% of budget games are from Codemasters. Budget software outsells full price by 5 to 2. No fewer than 17 bus services stop outside the Coders HQ. We're not sure about that one. Games go up. Well, it looks like it anyway. There have been plenty of rumours of budget price rises for a start. Apparently, there's been a great deal of pressure in the industry to up the standard budget price from $2.99 to $3.99. Nothing's come of that yet, but in the meantime, full price games are definitely creeping up. Damn and blast. 4 football fanatics. 4 great games, 4 great names. Soccer Mania compilation. Football Manager 2. Gaz's Super Soccer. Football Manager World Cup Edition 1990. Micro Pro Soccer. Addictive Live That Dream. 50 Best Games of the Year, Part 1. 1990 is nearly over. A year that's seen more quality amateur releases than ever before. Rod Lawton picks out his 50 Best Games of the Year in a 2-part mega feature. This month, January to June. So we have Moonwalker, US Gold, 78%, issue 52. A strange film and an even stranger license. Looks good, but makes virtually no sense at all. Exactly what you want to know. Operation Thunderbolt, Ocean, 89%, issue 52. Kill till your barrel melts, strike with the speed of a cobra and hit with the force of a thunderbolt, smash an enemy with skill, precision, and superior firepower. Good. After the War by Dynamic, 81%, issue 52. War doesn't score on subtle gameplay, but peddles pure unbridled aggression in its place. Surprisingly, it works. Action all the way, keeping you riveted to your joystick. Right, Amstrad Action rating. They're actually explaining the ratings now. Well, they did it to start with. Amstrad Action reviews always give an overall rating as a percentage. Broadly speaking, the ratings go as follows. Under 30%. Hardly ever happens, thankfully. Applies to a game so dire that you would have to be desperate to even want to play it. A game that has fatal gameplay flaws, absolutely rubbish graphics, and a plot so dull that it's an effort even to read the packaging. 30 to 40%. If it's a budget game, it might just be worth buying. 40 to 50%, just about bearable. But if a game scores less than 50%, it means it rather not play it than play it. Enough said? 50 to 60%. Pretty grim, but we expect somebody will like it. 60 to 70%. Not too bad, lacking in one or two departments though. 70 to 80%. A pretty good game. Not great, but entertaining. Competently programmed, and enough gameplay to get your teeth into. 80 to 90%. An AA rave, meaning it's very good release indeed. Great graphics and gameplay, and probably only a couple of comparatively minor quibbles. 90% to 99.999999999%. Excellent and worthy of the AA Master Game accolade. This applies to a game which has us hooked. One which we reckon sets new standards in gameplay, graphics, or originality. A game we'll probably be playing in the office for months to come. Games with score raves are thoroughly recommended. Read the review first to make sure it's your cup of tea, but once you're satisfied it's your sort of game, we guarantee you won't be disappointed. Master games are our ultimate award. They are the ones that redefine the standards of gaming and are essential purchases for the software library of any serious gamester. Spooky budget breakthrough, Lost Caves by Players, 71%, issue 52. Tongue-in-cheek fun cartoon explosions from huge joke bombs and a truly weird theme tune. And given pace by falling boulders and joggers, 16 levels of controlled panic are the result. We gave it 71%. In retrospect, that was too low, and 16 levels, each huge, and taking an age to master. It's a hell of a lot of game for a budget price. Remember Adam Waring wrote that game, right? Is that why you think it would be better? Ghostbusters 2 by Activision, 94%, issue 52. Great gameplay and graphics are slightly boiled by the easiness of level 1, but at last the Ghostbusters have come of age and star in a game worthy of their name. Fantasy World Dizzy by Codemasters, 89%, issue 52. It might be only £2.99, but don't let that put you off. Fantasy World Dizzy is better than many full price releases. Hard Driving by Domark, 80%, issue 53. Take the chase from the French Connection, the stunts from a Bond movie, and the little speed from Formula 1, and what have you got? The Untouchables by Ocean, 90%, issue 53. You want to know how to get Al Capone? When he pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. Pro Tennis Tour, Ubisoft, 72%, issue 53. A well-constructed and programmed game means that even the most ham-fisted and physically dyslexic you can play. Dan Dare 3 by Virgin, 79%, issue 53. Dan Dare may no longer be the part of the future and may be nearing retirement age, but he still knows how to have a good time. Trace HQ by Ocean, 90%, issue 54. The life of such a game may be short, but in that time it will fulfill all your racing dreams. You'll find yourself manically pressing the turbo button time and time again for one more hit of pure thoroughbred horsepower. P-47 Thunderbolt by Firebird, 89%, issue 54. P-47 may not tell it how it really was, but after a scant few seconds playing you'll agree it's the way it should have been. Fiendish Freddy, Mindscape, 88%, issue 55. Never in the history of gaming has there been so much real humour crammed into a game, and it lifts what would have been an ordinary multi-event game to rare levels. Golfing Great, Jack Nicklaus Golf, Accolade, 89%, AA 53. Golf is one of those rare sports that's actually easier to play on a computer than in real life. It has never been easier than with Jack Nicklaus Golf. The original Golf Sim leaderboard was quite prehistoric compared to this game, which set new standards in realism and graphical style. It's also extremely playable. We gave it 89%, but we're beginning to think it should have been a master game. Ooh. Myth, System 3, 94%, issue 55. Myth feels full. It's detailed and challenging. A game constructed by games players for games players. Kickoff by Anko, 78%, issue 55. The real fun comes when the opposition is human. The sheer exhilaration of playing real enemies or colleagues had the entire AA office enthralled for hours. Rainbow Islands, Ocean, 88%, issue 55. A land so cute it makes My Little Pony and the Care Bears look like Detroit street gangs. Well, we gave it 88% then, but it just doesn't look the same now, especially since we've seen Rick Dangerous 2. Oh. Doctor Doom's Revenge, Empire, 80%, issue 56. If you ever even just frisk through a Spider-Man comic, then this game will get its hooks into you real quick. Castle Master, Domark and Incentive, 91%, issue 56. Incentive have continued to hone its very special style, creating total games that require thought, luck, and good joystick control to see you through. Puffy Saga, Ubisoft, 85%, issue 56. Puffy Saga is an extremely polished maze game. The graphics and sound are superb, and alone are worth enough to lift it above the crowd. Oriental Games by Firebird, 78%, issue 56. Graphically, the game is a black belt. The sprites are huge, flicker-free, and nicely animated, and include a close-up of your expression as you dealt another blow by your assailant. Emotion, US Gold, 92%, issue 57. Games should challenge the wit and dexterity of the player, and you'll never face a harder challenge than level 50 of Emotion. You won't have learned anything useful about quantum physics, but who cares? Brilliant Blast, X-Out, Rainbow Arts, 86%, issue 56. When this level of tactical planning is applied to a fast and furious firefight, it's obvious you're in for a treat. We gave it 86% back in issue 56. 86, it hasn't happened yet. But to be honest, we've seen little to touch it since. You know what we think? We think this one's a master game. Pipe Mania by Empire, 88%, issue 57. Given the choice, 9 out of 10 games players say they want to be a movie star and not put their hand down somebody's U-bend. World Cup Soccer, Italian 90, Virgin, 81%, issue 57. Enough to keep any diehard fan who's also a desktop John Barnes torn between TV and monitor this June. And Harricana by Rainbow Arts, 90%, issue 57. There's a storm force wind of change blowing through action games. It comes from Rainbow Arts and it's called Harricana. Okay. Next month, July to December, the games that made the headlines in Amstrad Action really bring together the AA Roll of Honor, a personal top 10 games of 1990. And your chance to tell us what you think. Send in the special coupon to elect your top games of 1990. The results will be printed in a subsequent issue. Sound Blaster. Forum, Doc Waring, the man who makes the techie troubles flee for their lives. A load of old kobolds. I own an Amstrad 464, it runs on basic, I want to change it to run on COBOL. Can that be done? Do I need a disk drive? Many firms about to reply. Can you inform me or put me in onto someone who can? Clive Jackson, Stanford Links. I doubt very much whether you're able to find COBOL on tape, I'm afraid, Clive. Most implementations of languages such as these tend to be on disk. Wacky has a public domain version of COBOL. You'll find it on CPM Disk 8, which costs £6.50 from Wacky UK. You could. I actually seem to remember you can even run Microsoft COBOL on CPM on the CPC. Vanish with varnish. No thanks. Something happened. Yesterday, something happened to my 6128. I tried to load a game, but I got a read fail message. First, I thought the disk had become corrupt, so I tried a different game. This also failed to load. So I tried all my other disk games. None of them worked. What is wrong with my computer? Please help me. Ian Callagher, Ireland. Oh dear, oh dear. I agree that it's unlikely that all your games have broken simultaneously. I think it's much more likely that your disk drive has gone kaput. I'm afraid that it's off to the repair shop with you, my boy. Ask Alex. Hi, and welcome to a regular new beginners section on AA. My name's Alex, and I'm here to help you out with all those little questions that you've wanted answered about the Amstrad that we're too afraid to ask. I'm not one of those propeller heads who rant on about ROM boards and widgets all the time. I'm just a down-to-earth Amstrad user who has a basic understanding of her machine. But I was once a beginner too. I know what exactly was it's like to be blinded by science when all I really wanted was a straightforward answer in plain English. Don't worry if you think your problem is just too plain daft, no matter how small or simple you think it is. I'll do my very best to help. Just one thing, if it is quite a complicated subject, send it to forum instead. Adam will be far better equipped to deal with it. After all, he knows everything. Well, so he reckons, the big head. What's a console? Okay, that might be a little too simple. Yeah, that's a console. We must be mad. Oh, here's another competition. Just because it's Christmas nearly, and we like you, we've arranged this absolutely stonking competition. The prizes are all courtesy of Gremlin Graphics, purveyor of all manner of goodies heading your way. Share of the Beast got an AA rave this issue. Spoilers. We've got our hands on the incredible console game Switchblade for next time, and Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge is nearly finished and is looking brilliant. It must be a catch! And there is. Take a look at the entry form below and gasp at the fiendishly difficult questions we want you to answer. And when you've done those, fill in your personal particulars and whack the entry form or photocopy into an envelope and send it to us at the address printed on the form. Cool, lummy. It's a tough one and no mistake. Portable TV and video setup worth a cool £600. Runners-up prizes, 10 lucky winners will each win a Shadow of the Beast poster as painted by the famous sci-fi illustrator Roger Dean and t-shirt. What about the game? The rules. Oh, come on now. There had to be some, didn't there? The winning entries will be drawn at random from the gigantic Amstrad Action competition drawing hat after the closing date. No employees of Future Publishing or Gremlin Graphics may take part, even if they forge their granny's signatures. No cheating, like the tipping over the questions and writing the ones you can answer. Multiple entries are sneaky, conniving, and utterly immoral. We have handwriting experts in the AA offices who can sniff them out in nanoseconds. Offending forms will be taken outside and subjected to a series of controlled explosions. The judge's decision is totally final, completely irreversible, and absolutely no correspondence whatsoever will be entered into under any circumstances of any description that would conceivably arise. whatever happens. Closing date is December 20th. Any entries arriving after this date will be used to prop up one of the legs in Rod's desk, which has been a bit wonky ever since that business with the builders. Tally Compo entry form. Well now, we hope you didn't expect this to be easy. After all, you stand to win the stupendous first prize of a colour TV and video that any one of the AAT would willingly kill for, because it's an incredibly valuable and desirable prize. Sorry about all the capitals, by the way. This is why we want you to answer the following questions, just to show that you are worthy of this enormous prize. Just tick the appropriate box. Number 1. Shadow of the Beast was the game that set new standards of graphics overnight on which machine? The Commodore Amiga, the Sturmy Archer pneumatic road hammer, or Mrs. Brereton's Household Management 3rd edition? Number 2. Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge will feature manic 1 or 2 player racing, in which car? The Sturmy Archer Road Roller Comfy Crush Deluxe, a Lamborghini Turbo Nutter Pavarotti Pasta Bucket GTI, Lotus Esprit Turbo. 3. Name the Gremlin game shortly to appear on the Amstrad console. A. Mrs. Beaton's Household Management, the computer game. Godzilla meets the psychotic arachnids of Cleethorpes. Switchblade. Boy, we told you they were tough. Now all you've got to do is write down your particulars. Okay, now post this form or a copy to Amstrad Action Telecompo. Tough questions. Underneath this computer is an arcade fighting to get out. Win this Mega Mutant machine. A competition for the arcade machine. How would you like to win your own Toodles arcade game? Well, we've got a 4-player game to give away to the winner of this totally mega competition. If you'd like to become one of the Toodles and fight to save April O'Neil, just call 0898 404 640. Play an easy quiz and you could be that winner. Ooh. Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Heroes on the Half Shell trademark are coming to your computer screen. The computer game, available mid-November on PC, Amiga, Atari ST, C64, Spectrum, and Amstrad 464. Oddly specific. Programming in 3 dimensions. Think you could write another driller? The stunt car racer looks like something you could knock up in an afternoon. Starting this month, Conrad Besant presents a 3-part series exploring those amazing 3D programming techniques. 3D CPC Plus. 3D graphics on the CPC are now very sophisticated for an 8-bit computer, but with the updated hardware available on the new Plus computers, programmers should be able to produce even more realistic 3D graphics programs that run even faster. The actual appearance of 3D objects will be improved immensely by the enhanced graphics facilities. The extended palette of 4096 colors will make lifelike shading using ray tracing techniques. See part 3 of this series for more feasible, for example. Okay. Furthermore, by taking a lot of time-consuming burden of graphics off of the CPU, more of the processor's time can be spent doing the mathematical calculations needed to manipulate many 3D objects simultaneously. This fact in particular will make 3D graphics programs an obvious area for software houses to explore, as things like 2-dimensional shoot-em-ups will not have their fundamental concepts improved so drastically by the new hardware. Sure. Next month I shall explain how to apply the techniques discussed in this article to 3-dimensional animations. In the meantime, why not experiment with different objects and transformations? Plays you learn as you read. James Leach dons his cap and examines a new approach to educational software. Learn to read with Prof. Level 1, Prof plays a new game. $14.99 tape, $17.99 disc, Prisma software. Yes, Prof. Do you trust Prof? Good news. Unique multimedia approach to learning. Generally interactive. Bad news. The game This is a little basic. Another reward scene. It's a cat. Look at the little kitty. Little cat. Little cat. Action test. It's finally that time. We finally got there. It only took an hour. Action test. We thought an 8-bit version of Shadow of the Beast would be a joke. It's no joke. Shadow of the Beast is the game that set new standards of graphics overnight on the Commodore Amiga, but how does it convert to the 8-bit CPC? Gremlin Graphics took the job on, and you can find out the result on page 50. SimCity let you elect yourself mayor and build your own metropolis, page 68. Thanks a lot, and other awful puns. Lauriciel's Sherman M4 World War II sim rolls on page 66. Does Kickoff 2 stomp all over its predecessor? Check out the results service on page 63. Snowstroke gives you the chance to wipe out all those Colombian drug barons on page 54. First, we got Toyota Celica GT4. Gremlin staged a very special launch in the Welsh forests for its new Toyota licensed rally game. Andy Ide from AA Sister Mag, Yules Sinclair, said that he'd be there if it was the last thing he did. It nearly was. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have you ever turned the corner of a muddy, gravel-covered, potholed, and let's face it, downright dangerous road at speeds of up to 110 miles per hour? I have. So, yeah. It all happened on a rather soggy afternoon in late October, somewhere in the middle of Wales. I was a guest of Gremlin, which was promoting its up-and-coming Toyota Celica racing epic, and had tootled up to Newton for a day of general tomfoolery. The first event on a hectic schedule was a morning spent clay pigeons shooting. That is, it would have been morning if we hadn't all got split up on the way there and got lost. Still, the remaining hour and a half was a lot of fun, blasting little diskette thingies out of the sky with a degree of beginner talent, which our trainers found truly astonishing. Those of them not busy examining the holes that had mysteriously appeared in their hats, limbs, and other accessories. After lunch, we scootled off to some enormous forest in the middle of some enormous moor. And there we found the crazy car, so called because when you turned the steering wheel to the left, it ended up driving right. And when you turn the steering wheel... And when you turn the steering wheel to the right, but I'm sure you get the idea. The plan was for everyone to make timed runs around this figure-8 course sort of thing with a small, but presumably deep, reservoir on one side and a massive great precipice on the other. I just thought you might like to know I came second. But those two entertainments were nothing compared to what came next. The main event of the day was always going to involve Team Toyota, the rally offshoot of the car company. But when it transpired that its driver, David Llewellyn, was going to be in the woods that day practicing for the Lombard Rally in November, TT asked him if he wouldn't mind giving us all a spin, which is exactly what he did, and in more ways than one. Ooh. Stripped into the passenger seat like rats in a trap, Dave and I crept up to the starting line. A bit of an explanation from the speed freak himself, like how he wasn't going to use a clutch for the first 3 gears, and grumph. Can we go back for my stomach, Dave? I couldn't believe the acceleration, the way his arms were flying up and down either side of the steering wheel, just about as often as the helmet of my head was slamming into the roof. And when we swept around corners, half the car wasn't actually on the road at all. On the straights, he told me later, we were doing 120 mph, and this was a paltry 7/10 the usual speed. We got to the end of the track. You okay? Ready to go back? Vroom! It only lasted 5 minutes, but I'd have stood in the rain for a week just to get inside the car. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Gremlin. We look forward to seeing the game real soon. Gremlin gets an endorsement. From Toyota, that is. The game itself has been 2 years in the making, and Gremlin reckons it's used the same determination to come up with an out-and-out rally driving sim that Toyota used throughout the past season to firmly plant the Celica GT4 at the top of the rally driving tree. Copyright Encyclopedia of Totally Muddled Metaphors, 1931. The car won the Shell Oil's British Open Rally Championship for the second year running, with Welshman David Llewellyn at the wheel, while another GT4 looks certain to scoop the World Rally Championship thanks to Carlos Sainz of Spain. Well, what about the game? Well, you get to tackle several different courses in a wide variety of weather conditions. You skid around bends, leap over crests, and generally pile off into the scenery like a complete madman. Till you get used to it, we guess. More than that, we don't know yet, though if it shapes up as well as Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge looks like doing, we're in for a cracker. Fun School 3, learning is now even more fun. Alright, get our first game going. Shadow of the Beast by Gremlin, $12.99 cassette, $15.99 disc. Joystick or keys? You've got a face like a rattlesnake, a skull like the back of a Fort Anglia, and a wardrobe consisting of 2 hankies and some string. Your skin's got a pallor only marginally healthier than month-old tripe, and you can't even walk and punch things at the same time. Not nice, eh? Mind you, you're downside nicer than the other guy. He is the Beast, and responsible for the murder of your own father and countless other innocent humans. Yes, you were human too, once, and it was the Beast who turned you into this horribly ghastly snake-headed horror. Which is why the Beast must pay. Shadow of the Beast is a scrolling kick-em-up with lots of exploring and timing puzzles to keep you busy as you search out the Beast, belting its minions into oblivion as you go. And you're pretty good at belting things, because although you'd get a few funny looks on the bus, you're tough as nails, with a Schwarzenegger physique and fists like concrete. Your fighting moves are limited, which makes learning them easy, yet highly effective. Hit the fire button while you're walking and you stop briefly to bash whatever is in your path. Press fire while you're jumping and you deliver a devastating kick. Push down on the stick and fire and you punch the lights out of any ground-hogging creepy crawlies that come your way. The key to success is timing your moves. None of your assailants are that tough, but they do have a habit of creeping up on you, unawares. And there are some baddies, like bouncing eyeballs, yuck, and jangling spiders as big as your average family car, that you just have to work around. You can't destroy them. Take a hit from one of these, or from any other creature, and you lose one of your 12 energy points. When all 12 have gone, well, it's back to the start, I'm afraid. It starts at the beginning, though. First of all, you've got to explore your surroundings. Watch out for nasty bats, circular sun god type nasties, and man traps on the ground. Head right, and you'll come to a wall. You can actually get into this well and climb down it, but don't bother. When you get to the bottom, it'll tell you need a key. Great. What you really should have done was head left. This time, you'll come to what looks like a treehouse. Go inside, and you're into level 2. An underground maze of tunnels and ladders. Watch out for giant ants, club-wielding ogres, fireballs, huge dragons' heads that stick out of the floor and ceiling without warning. And thank goodness, potions to restore your vitality. To get out of this level, you need firstly to learn your way around, and secondly, find some way of wiping out the grisly end of level Guardian. The answer is a creature which squats at the end of the corridor on the other side of the complex. It sits there gobbling balls of fire as you periodically and lobbing a spear up and down. You need to choose your moment, duck in there and hit the sphere before dodging back out of the way. Hit it enough times and it disappears. You now have a weapon to tackle the Guardian with. Lo and behold, you emerge through the wall. The next section is above the ground again, but much tougher than your first tentative little forays. You need to tread warily for what seems like hours, but can only be a few minutes across this insect, bat, and eyeball-infested territory. Finally, arriving at the castle with a doorway. You go inside into a dark, gloomy corridor. Take a few steps and it becomes darker and gloomier. A few more steps and you're in pitch darkness. Yes, you've forgotten something. Head back for the doorway if you can find it again. Go aside and head to the right until you come to a torch mounted in the castle wall. Leap up to grab it and head back for the doorway. Level 4 is slightly smaller than Level 2, only marginally tougher. There are a whole new range of hazards to contend with, though. Many of the ceilings drip poison, strange and indestructible hopping creatures, first seen above ground, must be jumped over. And at one point, giant spiders hang from the ceiling, gently moving up and down. You can't kill them, so can you dodge past them? As with the second level, there are power-ups for your vitality and objects to collect. One of these is a spanner you'll need later, and the other is a gun. You'll need the gun for the end of level Guardian, which will require some pretty fancy jumping and shooting to defeat. The next level is really quite different. Your warrior is no longer running, but zooming along in underwater gear. Or is it a spacesuit? Suddenly, Shadow the Beast shifts temporarily into shifts tempo into a horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up where you face more bat-like beasties, but also lasers and missiles. And this, dear friends, is as far as we are taking you. From here on in, you're on your own as you search out the beast. Graphically, the game is unusual in using the Amstrad's 4-colour mode. This leaves the screens often looking dingy and empty, but pays off handsomely in terms of detail and the animation. The above-ground sequences suffer from the attempt to shade the sky and foreground, but the rest look really excellent. A bold but very wise move by Gremlin. Scrolling is a bit iffy here and there, but set against the general standard of the graphics, that's a small point. Collision detection is excellent, and you can judge positioning almost to the pixel, essential with some of the timing puzzles. It's a fairly heavy joystick though, because the wrong move in the wrong place is frequently catastrophic. The soundtrack is quite listenable and atmospheric. You can actually play the game for hours without feeling the usual compulsion to turn the sound off. The effects are clear and effective. The thwacks you get when you hit something help you time those fighting moves to perfection. All this wouldn't help much if the game itself wasn't up to it. Fortunately, it is. Shadow of the Beast on the 16 bits was a graphical tour de force, but the gameplay was tough, shallow, and incredibly frustrating. Well, the good news is that the Amstrad version, thanks to Gremlin, has retained all of the virtues and none of the vices of the original. The graphics and soundtrack are great, but the game is much easier and much more playable. The whole package has been very well judged indeed. There are really only two gripes. The first is fairly minor. There are several long stretches where either nothing much happens, or you get a whole barrage of enemies which can all be eliminated easily with the same series of moves. Am I missing something here? Nope. You can't really relax, but there's no challenge either. The second gripe is a biggie. Once you lose all your vitality, you're sent right back to the start. It doesn't matter how far you've got into the game, there's only one restart point. Ouch. That means that even if you can do the first few levels with your eyes shut, you've still got to plod through them every time you want to take another shot at finishing the game. Okay, so it makes the game last longer and gives it as epic feel as you have to complete your adventure in one sitting. But that's nothing compared to the frustration and tedium of having to start from scratch every single time you want to play the game. Shadow of the Beast is a game we thought we'd never see on the Amstrad. A game with the reputation of being all graphics and no gameplay. While Gremlin have retained an excellent graphics by Amstrad standards and tweaked the gameplay to the point where it really is a very good game in its own right. However, it does herald a less welcome trend. $12.99 on tape, $15.99 on disc. This might be just because it's such a big game, it takes up both sides of a 3-inch disc. Alternatively, it might be the shape or price of things to come. We shall have to wait and see. First day target school. Finish the second level. Second opinion. Graphically, one of the most innovative games to appear on the Amstrad for some time. A bit long-winded at times, but if you've got the patience, it's an enjoyable and playable arcade romp. Psygnosis Milestone. Psygnosis was the original publisher of Shadow of the Beast, a game which left punters gobsmacked with sheer graphical excellence. Their game alone, with its multi-level parallax scrolling, fantastic backgrounds, animation and sprites, must have sold more than a few Amigas and arguably set new standards for 16-bit graphics overnight. Even the artwork was spectacular, commissioned, as with all Psygnosis stuff, from Roger Dean, famous sci-fi artist of the 70s and the man behind many a Yes album cover. However, hype-hardened reviewers pointed to the fact that the gameplay really was rather tough, unoriginal and frustrating, and that at a price of £35, even with a free t-shirt, was squeezing the last drop of loot out of Amiga owners stunned by the graphics. Nevertheless, Shadow's reputation as a milestone in gaming lives on, as does that instantly recognisable lizard-headed warrior, thanks to Gremlin. The verdict: graphics, 90%. Only 4 colours. Excellent sprites and detail. Sonics, 80%. Good soundtrack. Useful effects. Grab factor, 83%. Playable right from the start. Staying power. Well, it doesn't look its best until you get into it. Staying power, 85%. Hugely playable and solvable. Incredibly frustrating restart point. AA rating, 84%. Just a tad too patchy to be a master game. Hi. Now we get to play it. What do I do that for? Hi. Alright, let's go. Okay. Works then. Beast. Copyright Gremlin Graphics, 1990. Insert disc side 2 and press fire. As the mist clears, the eerie image of a forest forms in front of you. To the east, a vast plain extends toward the horizon. Westward, however, in the thick of the forest, 1,000 pairs of eyes pierce the mist, glaring despondently back at you. Right, go left first, right? Repel that scrolling, fancy. Nice to say LR, mister. Oh, what did I need to say? Well, that's a good start. There we go. We hit something. Don't even see whatever happened to me there. Home! Okay, here we go. Inside, a winding staircase descends into darkness. Pausing for a while to allow your eyes to adjust, you make your way down the steps, which seem to deteriorate into makeshift planks the further you go. I'm glad I guess. Go. Back up. It's right here. It's up here. Open area. It's here. Oh. Oh. Dead. Do it all again, idiot. Guess you don't go there first then, huh? Right, do it again. You see the parallax scrolling. Oh. Tick. Oh. I know what it is. We know where not to go now. Show you avoid that. Bye. Oh. Ow. These guys. That's a key. Can we go down? Does this kill us if we go down? Oh, it's full damage. That feels life. Okay. Fine. Alright. Turn around. We go. Yeah, I think back with bosses. We just need the key to get past it. I don't know. My guess is it'll just kill us instantly again. Yeah, it just kills you instantly. Don't touch it. So I guess we've got to have something to shoot at it. Let's try again. One more go. No damage. Woohoo! How you avoid damage here? Something I'm missing, obviously. Down, please. Possible to the right. And then go down here this time. Oh, we did last time. Take a step fast. Yeah, this is back to the boss. Oh god. Fireball, here we go. Oh, everything has gone that way before. Go down here. Funny. Might be important. Oh, I could use some help. That would be handy. Alright, let's back here. Where did we find that key? I'm confused now. Just go for the boss, shall we? Oh, he goes back. Oh, he's going back. We did it. Use our power up now. Ah. There's more than one there. How long is this platform? Oh yeah, there's two of them there, alright. Right, got to the next ladder. Wait, what's over this way? Anything over this way? No more ladders. More of these guys. I got 2 lives left. Oh no. Can we destroy these things? Nobody knows. I'm dodging. Oh, that's close. Alright, well, one more hit. And oh, that's it. Okay, now we're on our last hit. We found a key! Now we're probably gonna die. Yeah, just like that. Stupid bats. Anyway, that's Shadow of the Beast. We'll move on. Next game. We've got a compilation. Wheels of Fire. Domark. $14.99 cassette. $24.99 disc. Joystick or keys. It'll drive you mad. 4 compulsive driving games in one box. You'll be taking out your life into your hands. So think once, think twice. Think, how fast can I go around this corner? Hard Driving. Hard Driving is also found in the TNT collection from Domark. And it's a classic. You travel around a stunt circuit trying to stay on the road and complete the stunts and trying to avoid the other road users lugging their shopping back from Waitrose. The stunts are all seen in Victor 3D, and the game is an instant replay facility whereby you can crash horrifically and watch it all afterwards in slow motion from the outside view, presumably a hospital bed. If you go around the course fast enough, you get to race the Phantom Photon. Despite his name, he's not a subatomic particle. He's a fast car you'll have to beat around both the speed and stunt circuits. You select which one you wish to drive on at a junction. There's much fun to be had with hard driving, but Domark is right. It certainly is hard controlling the vehicle. It's hard controlling the vehicle is not easy. And though you have 3 lives, you'll curse and something whenever you lose one. Rudimentary sound, mono but fast Victor graphics, and difficult gameplay don't sound promising, but in fact hard driving is great. That's not Victor graphics. It's pretty solid 3D. Chase HQ. Chase HQ gives you a cop's uniform, a nagging administrator called Nancy, and a Porsche 928 Turbo. You must catch up with a notorious criminal in a sports car, dodging on the way legitimate road users, barriers, road forks, and other hazards. Conveniently, the perpetrator has a large arrow above his car. There follows a great cat and mouse chase, during which you must simply ram the enemy repeatedly. Speed and graphics are astounding, with great colours and wonderfully smooth movement. Sprites are big and flicker free, and the sound effects maintain this high standard. There is no tune, but the turbo noise is great, and there's decent speech as well. Chase HQ is fast, tough, and looks brilliant. Turbo Outrun. Turbo Outrun is alas the weakest of this bunch. You have a Ferrari F40, you've got your best girl by your side, and the open road ahead. That's about it, really. You're racing across the USA, trying to beat a mysterious grey Porsche 959, and the clock. Oh, and you have a number of turbo boosts to hurl you across the continent. You'll need them to overcome the barriers and boulders which block your path. Graphics are clear, with a satisfying impression of blurred speed. However, control is sluggish, and the car lurches slowly from roadside to verge as you turn. To represent other road surfaces, the car sometimes becomes even more unresponsive. There are no spot sounds, instead a tune plays continuously. Okay, but no replacement for the tire squealing, engine revving sounds that should have been included. The result is a curiously soulless game, with many nice touches, but no great overall appeal. Power Drift. Power Drift is a different kettle of fish. They have a sort of dune buggy capable of 244 kilometers an hour. That's over 150 mph in real money. You pick a driver from a mugshot gallery and off you go, racing 11 other bods. The buggies tear around small twisty courses, bashing each other and vying for the lead. You must achieve at least 3rd place to continue through to the next round, and there are 27 tracks waiting. The sheer fun of the game with its responsive play is the greatest asset. It's fast, furious, frustrating, and other things beginning with F. The buggy is very controllable, and you learn to drift the back out round corners, thus powering past your opponents. Sections of the track are elevated and seemingly unsupported. Your forward vision is cut down dramatically, so you might plough into the back of some other speed freak pootling along it just over the crest. The cart has 2 gears, fast and very fast, and will spin out if hit badly enough. So the worst that happens is you watch your mates whiz past while you build up the speed once more. Nice chunky graphics and insistent soundtrack that give this game a lovely sense of atmosphere. It's a scorcher, and after you start playing, you'll be hooked for ages. Second opinion. Okay, so Turbo Outrun isn't going to win any awards, but even that's not bad. A driving fan's dream. The verdict. Chase HQ, issue 54, 90%. Turbo Outrun, issue 52, 64%. Power Drift, issue 51, 91%. Hard Driving, issue 53, 80%. AA rating, 84%. Overall, Wheels of Fire is a quality compilation. Turbo Outrun is the worst game, but even that is okay. If you like driving games and you don't have any of these, then buy this collection. It'll blow your wheels. Nightbreed, the action game. I have an Iron Man Stewart Super Off-Road. Grab the wheel and hit the nitros. Highly recommended, the one. Simply the best, and will be for a long while yet. 94% overall, CNVG. Best overall overhead racing game on the market, and a must for all racing fans. 92% overall, Sinclair user classic. A great game full of road wrecking fun. 90% overall, a crash smash. The Arcade Smash, converted by Graphgold Creative Software. Target Renegade, the Hit Squad. We don't have to play this, we've played it before. Guess that gets us through it quickly. Target Renegade, Hit Squad, $2.99 cassette, joystick or keys. Revenge is sweet, violence is golden, pain is painful. You'll need to learn these 3 rules if you're going to survive out on the main streets of Scummerville. Target Renegade makes no apologies for plonking you in this rather unpleasant town. It's out-and-out warfare there. Your mission is to avenge the memory of your brother, who got severely stomped in the original Renegade, and now you're after Mr. Big, who picked the fight in the first place. The first of the 5 levels is set in a multi-story car park. We're a motorcycle gang who happen to be passing, try to beat you into your constituent molecules. You have to knock them off their Harleys, and then fend off with your punches, kicks, and leaps. If you survive for long enough, one of the enemy will attack you with a sledgehammer, kick his face in, and nick the hammer. This gives you an undeniable advantage, despite the incredible thickness of the biker's skulls. If you make it to the lift, you can get to level 2. This is quaintly named Seedy Street at Night. There are several gaudily dressed women around. What they want is anyone's guess. However, they seem to take an instant dislike to you, and frail and fragile, fair as sex they may be, they try to kick out your lungs. So the violence continues. If you're still playing this far, you'll be better at it, and the folk you encounter will have their bones pulverized before they can say, "Flick knife." Level 3 sees you in the park. You might think that a park is a pleasant haven for peaceful gentility. Not in Scumsville. As you relax by the pond, watching the children playing in the sandpit, you casually make the acquaintance of a large number of milling skinheads. They take umbrage at something you say or do, and subsequently attempt to damage your face and body severely. Where are those turtles when you really need them? Next, you shamble, bleeding and broken, into a shopping mall littered with Beastie Boys fans and their hungry Rottweilers. There's no Rottweilers in this game. I think you got a weird idea what a Rottweiler looks like. When they notice you, they proceed to turn your head into, etc., etc. After this light relief, you'll be exactly in the mood to confront Mr. Big, king of the scallywags, in his own bar. His bodyguards attempt to pull your etc. and rip off your etc. and etc. you with a machine gun. Do not try and reason with them. Target Renegade appeared as a full-price game in AA35 and scored a master game. It still looks great today. It's got bags of playability, and the graphics are fab, being big, clear, and well animated. You have several violent moves to be able to dispatch your foes, and they all look good on screen. Sound is fine too. The tune plays continually, rather like Beethoven's Ninth during the violent scenes in A Clockwork Orange. If you prefer, you can turn off the sound and just listen to the beeps that occasionally accompany the thumping. Perhaps one of the best features in Target Renegade is the option to have a friend or relative join you in the senseless wasting of human life. The two-player mode puts both you and said friend on screen at the same time, so you can work as a team, doubling your effectiveness. It is excellent fun, as you both lay into an immobilized unconscious skinhead. You're not likely to be doing something like that in real life, let's face it. The game isn't easy, either. Against one or possibly two adversaries, you should be able to come out on top. But when four more pile on, one on a motorbike, you'll need backup. You'll need luck and your wits. Yeah, no, they never have more than three, at least not on one-player mode. You also need a friend who's equally adept at using boots, fists, and any large tools scrounged from nearby building sites. A time limit keeps you moving through the levels. You must wipe out all the baddies on each level before you can proceed to the next, so whilst it is possible to evade the approaching squads of meatheads, it is not really in your best interest to do so. Overall, Target Renegade has stood the test of time very well. It really is an excellent game. You will need to enjoy inflicting and receiving extreme physical trauma, though. It can get repetitive, but there are so many levels and characters that it isn't a major factor. If you aren't put off and ethics matter little, then this is the budget punch 'em up for you. James, did you spill my pint, leech? First day target score. Escape the multi-story car park alive. Second opinion. Target Renegade is a gratuitously violent game. Mindless thuggery is fun though, and results in an extremely entertaining game, especially with two players. The verdict. Graphics 72%. Well animated characters, slick and very presentable. Sonic 66%. Slick and very presentable. FX not so hot. Grab factor 87%. Great fun and easy to get into. And even better with two players. Staying power 73%. 5 levels. But action is very similar in each. AA rating 76%. Fun, playable and none too taxing on the old grey cells. As I said, we've played it before. So we don't need to do that again. Now we've got Harricana by Luciel, $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. The sport of racing comes in many forms, whether it's on foot, on horseback, or in a motor vehicle. People will take the chance to prove that they can run, ride, or drive faster than everybody else. Even in Canada. Pardon? The problem with Canada is that it's a bloody cold country. It's just a 26-mile jog through the sub-zero temperatures and you'll be locked up as a loony. And since bareback yak racing hasn't caught on, some sort of motorsport is the only choice left. Cars would be a silly idea. For one thing, as well as dry tyres and wet tyres, you'd have to have snow tyres too. You'd probably need gallons of antifreeze as well. So what do they do in such snowy regions as race snowmobiles? These are far more suited to such colder climes, using skis and caterpillar tracks to keep a grip on the slippery surfaces, rather than four wheels which slide all over the place. Harricana takes place on the frozen wastes of Canada. 20 competitors battle it out in a race where man and machine are one, and need to work in perfect harmony to survive the grueling journey. The race is split into several stages. There are 12 in all, and in each, the last competitor to complete the course is disqualified. Out of the 20 who start, only 9 will survive to attempt to win the final leg of the race. There are two choices when it comes to the challenge. You can either keep to the course, or you could opt for the cross-country route. The latter option is unusual to say the least, as most racing games refuse to let you stray too far from the road. With Harricana, though, off-road racing is no problem, except that the terrain is filled with trees, fallen logs, and all manner of debris. Your buggy is much faster than those any of the competitors. You can burn them no problem from the very start. The problem lies in keeping on course. The computer-controlled contestants can do this effortlessly, but it's not so easy for the human player who doesn't know the lay of the land quite so well. The course markers are tiny. It's just far too easy to drift off course into the countryside and get lost before you know it. The other danger is crashing. This is something that the automatic competitors never do. It's a pity that the same cannot be said of their human counterpart. The annoying part is that when you do crash, you have to reverse slowly away from the obstacle and turn before continuing. This is a slow process and seems to take an eternity. Of course, when you're performing this delicate maneuver, all the other vehicles have overtaken you and are well away. In real life, a 60 mph smash into a stationary tree would probably result in hospital, so it could be said that the slow recovery is getting off lightly. However, it does break up the action in what was otherwise a fast and extremely playable game. The graphics are drawn in the Amstrad's full-colour mode, the definition is very high, and there is a very atmospheric feel throughout the game. There are many humorous touches too. Other competitors wear a variety of headgear. For example, while the crash sequences are wonderfully animated, a lot of work has gone into polishing the game. Technically, Harricana is a fine game. Scrolling and speed are excellent, better than most racing games of that type. The problems of not being able to compete properly and fairly against the computer spoil it though. Time should teach you to master the controls, and if you gain the ability to judge the twists and turns of the course with split-second accuracy, then Harricana could prove to be quite a game. If not, you soon become rather frustrated by the whole thing. First day target score: win your first race. Second opinion: it's quite simple to look at, without much variety in the gameplay, but I loved it. It's atmospheric, humorous, and very playable. The controller is rather frustrating now and then, but overall, a great little game. Now the verdict: graphics 87%, crisp, clear graphics, nice animation, Sonic's 55%, nice title music, effects limited to engine noises, grab factor 70%, easy controls and breathtaking speed, too hard to stay on course, staying power 77%, there are a lot of stages to race, if you're patient enough to master the game. AA rating 73%, potentially excellent game spoiled by playability quirks. Okay. Alright. Original presents Harricana International Snowmobile Race, Quebec, Canada 90. Author Bernard Aure. Programming Olivier Richet. Well, thanks. music ends. Okay, let's go. Stage 1. There you go, stick to the course. Whee. Stop. Forward. Ow. I think I'm lost already. Here's the course. These little course markers are hard to see. But no, easily missed. I've already missed them. Ow. Oh, because we take the cross country. Oh no, there's a thing there. Oh, so easy to hit anything. When do we catch up? We're going well ahead. Oh, I lost it again. Here it is. Oh, we caught up. She's getting away. The more we do. Pile up. Got to pile up here. Oh, oh come on. Turn around. Damn it. Catch up again. God damn it. And last again. Over there you go. Come on. go, go, go. Not that way. There we go. We didn't finish last. Classification stage 1. It's only not last. You can continue, right? Stage number 2. Where is it? Left. It's so easy to miss the markers. Oh. What am I hitting? What am I hitting? Run away! Where the... Oh, we lost again. Oh, I think I went through that tree. Oh yeah, I've lost. Oh, don't turn, you idiot. Found the course again. It's hard to tell where their turns. It's awful. Oh, come on. Around that, come on. Ah. Oh, jeez. Passing. We found the course again. We had found the... Oh, no! Oh, no, last. That's it. We failed. Just at the last minute. Yeah, this is really hard to keep track of where the course is. Well, especially where the turns. Oh, you can go up and down. Here we go. Yep, last. Anyway, it was a. Well, it could have been worse. Yeah, following the track is hard. Very hard to follow. Go straight ahead. Avoid everything, I guess. Be the easier way. Right, next game. Oh, this way. Next game is Moon Blaster by L'Oreal. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. Life in the Three Moons galactic system gets pretty boring. There's just nothing for the young folk to do. So to combat this apathy and to keep them out of trouble, the Queen has decreed that every year there's to be a competition. Called the Olympic Crater Games, there are only ever two teams competing. One team is the Cyrils. These are unpleasant, drooling, malevolent beings who will stop at nothing to win. The other team is you, on your own. Over the years, the games have assumed greater and greater importance. Nowadays, they're used to decide the allocation of the entire next year's planetary revenue. The Cyrils won last year, and they plundered the wealth of the Free Moons system to an embarrassing degree. Greedy amphibians. So the real pressure is really on for you to win this year. You are wheeled out to a crater in the middle of nowhere and left there. You're in a small skimming spacecraft type thing, armed with only a laser blaster. The Cyrils outnumber you by dozens to one. Their task is to maneuver around you, trying to collide with your little craft. You must use your speed, steering and laser to avoid these reprehensible reptiles. A radar screen on your instrument panel indicates the positions of all the alien weirdos surrounding you. Other readouts tell you your speed and the state of your shields. You are attacked by waves of craft. If you destroy or avoid them all, you get a chance to pick up bonus points. There's a brief respite, about 1.7 seconds, and then the next slimy lot attack. Each wave has a different attack craft, and each craft is better than the previous one. You usually end up reversing as fast as you can and spraying the enemy as they try to keep up. Every so often you collect a useful weapon such as faster laser or a bomb. This evens things up for a while. The game takes place on all three moons. There's a desert moon, the forest moon, and the icy moon. Coincidentally, each has a crater which lends itself admirably to the sport. The progression of aliens on each moon is different too, and skill levels vary between moons too. Kill all the squadrons of horrid nasties and the exit appears somewhere in the crater. Head out and clench your fingers from the joystick and move on to the next moon. Phew! The game has been designed all along the same lines as Human M4, reviewed on page 66. It uses a similar 3D technique, but happily is much, much faster. It was across the crater at breakneck speed, and the nauseating alien craft ricochet around like shrapnel. They don't fire lasers, they simply try to hit you. The graphics are fast, they work well, are solid, and move as smoothly as anything that quick can. Some of the latest Cyril craft are quite detailed, but still update rapidly. Your joystick skills will certainly be tested, almost to destruction, and your nerve will soon be shredded. The sound is continuous. There's a variable engine note which serves to inform you of your speed, plus laser noises and explosion effects, as the Cyrils cop it from a blast of your gun, or slam into you. Cool Space Age tunes play during the high score table and at the intro screen. Both these screens can be called up from the main menu. If you can't progress to the second or third moon during the games, you can try them out using a training mode, which dumps you onto the rocky satellite of your choice. Useful for seeing what you'll face later, assuming you survive that long. Moon Blaster, for all its polished speed, feels curiously out of date. It seems like a while since a game required you to move around, unthinkingly blasting at noxious aliens, trying to kill as many as possible, especially a speeded up battle zone. Your reactions will be honed, your trigger finger strained, and your brain unused. If that is what you want from a game, then hot-foot it out to the crater and start killing. James Ganymede Leach. First 8 tower score, survived 2 squadrons on Moon 1. Second opinion. About as much fun as possible to have watching variously coloured polygons wrecking around in a playing area the size of a letterbox, which is to say not much. Mindless blasting which goes on and on and on with no variety. I didn't like it. The verdict, graphics 75%. Big, fast, colourful 3D. Sonic 72%. Fills the air with lasers and explosions. Grab factor 70%. Difficult, you'll need practice. Staying power 61%. Lots of blasting, not much variety. AA rating 68%. Pure arcade action. Not for thinkers. Okay. Alright. Off we go. Joystick. So is this training here and this is the game? We'll soon find out, I guess. Oh, jeez. Oh, let me get started here. Yeah, he's going to reverse. This is the way to do it. I'm dying. Bonus. Um, Game over. Well, we died. That didn't take long. Let's try again. What is this read thing? I have no idea what it did. Yes, the fish trick works pretty well. What's the alarm for? Pass. Game over. Instant game game overs are not fun. Let me give it one more try. Yeah, why not? Not a long game. I suppose each stage might be longer, I don't know. We'll give it one more try. I presume the alarm is something we need to avoid. Change direction or something. Ow. Bonus. Read something. Don't know what. Yeah. Well, again, that's interesting, but game over. It's a little hard to. Instant game overs is just a little bit much. If it's something we could maybe see or get some sort of glance at on the radar, it would be more handy. It's a general alarm. You don't know if you're heading towards it or not. Anyway, move on. Next game. Oh boy, we're getting the fun games now. It's Motorcycle 500 by Colt. $2.99 cassette, keys only. Yes, it's a text-only manager time again. If you're fed up with soccer teams, cricket clubs, or boxes, why not try to run two motorcycles at once? Motorcycle 500 gives you this chance. You must select a sponsor team, a type of motorcycle such as Kawasaki, Yamaha, or Suzuki, and a couple of riders. As with many management games, the details are as, or were at time of writing, very accurate. All the famous riders are featured as well as the bikes and sponsors, usually fag makers like Marlboro. You can select Randy Mamola, Eddie Lawson, or even Barry Bionic Sheen. You'll add skill ratings up displayed as well as the condition of the two bikes. You have a certain amount of dosh to spend on the bikes, race fees, and so on, so you must balance the budget until you have reached an acceptable level of proficiency without going too far into the red. The bank is very strict about this. Next, you enter a race. You can choose to enter both your riders or just one, riding a far superior bike with all your dough spent on it alone. Obviously, each option has its merits. Watch the weather, it affects the choice of tyres, so fill up with 4-star, unleaded of course, and go racing. The race is over 20 laps. You can update each lap with details of crashes, overtakings, and mechanical troubles. This is quite exciting, especially if the weather changes and people start tumbling all over the track. Unfortunately, Motorcycle 500 is too slow. Huge amounts of time pass with only the word interlude on the screen to keep you company. The races take an age, and you are almost powerless to change the linear format of the game. You set up the bikes, wait for eons, race, wait for eons, and set up the bikes again afterwards. It tends to spoil the excitement. There's no sound, but there are very rudimentary graphics when the races are on. Unfortunately, this isn't enough. The game is you pedestrian. There really aren't enough options and factors to make it interesting. James Two-Stroke Leach. First day target score. Race a whole season. Second opinion. Better than most management sims because you actually get to see the races going past. Other than that, there's not much to stir the blood. Verdict. Graphics. 38%. Small window with smaller motorcycles whizzing past. But many management games don't even go this far. Sonics. 0%. Akin to wearing incredibly effective earmuffs. Grab factor. 37%. It could be a nice idea. Staying power, 32%, but it's far too slow and lacks immediacy. One to play long months in hospital with both your legs broken. AA rating, 36%. Treat this the same way Barry Sheen treats electromagnets. I don't get it. Off we go. Okay. Go in the right window, it helps. Motorcycle 500. The designer. Ooh. Amstrad version by J. Archer. Continue. I'm not going to bother with the designer. Please wait, loading. Motorcycle 500. Please wait, loading. Interlude. I'm going to see this a lot. Job application. Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kagiva, and Kawasaki. Who do we go for? To Suzuki, for no particular reason. Suzuki will back your team for £6,106. Signed contract? Sure. Sponsorship. A. Rothmans. C. Marlboro. C. Colt Games. D. Phillips. E. Foster's. Do the beer sponsorship. 9,152. Okay, whatever. Your riders. Who do we buy? I guess the most expensive ones are better. It's my guess. But then it could just be completely random. JR, who is the games program, I guess he must be the best. Choose the second rider. Yeah, he's expensive. Gee, sure. Good luck in season 1990. Interlude. Oh, got an option to gamble. Of course you do. So what are we going for our accounts? Balance £11,478. Few GPs. Spain, Austria, Italy, Yugoslavia, Brazil, France, Belgium, Holland, Britain, America, and Sweden. Interlude. Working hours. Where are we going to work on the bikes? Prove. Oh, this cost you £50. Okay, I see. Steering. Improve. Can we increase this a bit? Cost 25. Pollute. Oh, he's good. Where does he have a better condition? Improve these two. Okay. Interlude. Mechanics. Choose mechanic 1. Very good. Mechanics that cost more than the riders do. Oh, it's per season. Wait. Or was it session? What, 2 mechanics? Just one. We're gonna do just one. Okay. Manager J Archer. Right, you writing as well? What? Race prep. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. Fair paid. Petrol in 12. What do we need? Temperature forecast fair weather 93 Fahrenheit. Uh-huh. The other guy. Okay. Should do. See what happens. Eating into race. What does all go wrong? When I did this, played this in testing, is both my rotors just crashed out for reasons. See what happens. B. Lee. Bruce Lee? This is what racing looks like. '18th and 20th. Good. Steadily losing MPH. This is exciting. '19th and 20th. Steadily losing MPH, whatever that means. Getting slow, I suppose that means. '17th and 18th. Fuel time. fine. Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Risky. Moves are risky. Tire slipping. This is going well. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Remember playing endurance? It's like that, honey. Only with worse graphics. How is the driver that's driving supposed to be driving steady, using more fuel? I don't think it worked that way. 11 laps to go. Exciting. We're nearly halfway through. Steady losing MPH. Let's try it. Okay, we need to refuel anyway. Steady or risky? Go risky then. Go. Oh, hit barrier. Oh, Fuel. Okay, go. Vroom. 6 laps to go. Hit the barrier. This won't be last. Who's adding MPH? Hit barrier. Got 5 laps to go. 18th, 19th. We had like 3 that have hit the barrier. How are we still 18th and 19th? Yeah, 18th and 19th. Yeah. 3 laps to go. I missed that. I get the feeling endurance was an easier game than this is. Two laps to go. Nearly at the end. Last lap. Tire slipping, hit barrier, hit barrier. '17th, '18th. Wonderful. Interlude. Yeah. Wonderful. We suck, pretty much. And to continue. Interlude. Now we're back here again. Yeah, that's Motorcycle 500. I think we'll move on. Because we've got one more soundless management game to go. Might as well get this one out of the way too. Soccer Director by GTI Software. $2.99 cassette, keys only. money. That's the only thing that matters. Money. And perhaps football. Football's quite important too. Just imagine how nice it would be if you could make money from football. Ideal. Soccer directors must think they've died and gone to heaven. Lots of football, lots of money, lots of gold jewellery and poisonous cigars and big cars and swimming pools. On second thoughts, you can keep it. This game puts you in the position of being able to buy shares illegally in Britain's top clubs. The aim is to own 501 or more shares in all the First Division clubs, thus making you king of football and immensely wealthy. The shares are also expensive, so that you'll need to wait for your dividends to start coming in before you can buy many. This is a problem. The money slowly rolls in from your investments. It's quickly spent, rolls in again lethargically, and then the cycle repeats. Other factors have a marginal effect on this tedious process. The performance of the team, whether a riot, or God forbid, tax evasion occurs, will take their toll on your accumulating dosh. It can also affect the teams by calling a shareholders meeting. If you have enough weight, it will get the manager sacked, the ground improved, and so on. If you set up a particular team just right, you can bet on them in the league or FA Cup. It's another way of raking in moolah. Sadly, nothing you do seems to make much difference in the game. The money still comes in, and eventually you have enough to buy all the clubs. You might as well go and make a pot of tea and come back to the game every half an hour to check in on the progress. No graphics, no interesting typeface, no sound. At least there's a couple of colour changes, but this isn't enough to make the game playable, even by the most enthusiastic management sim fan. It's even worse than watching Luton at home. James Swindon Town fan Leach. First day task score, drink 4 cups of tea and eat 7 custard creams whilst it's running. The second opinion, yuck, another text-only soccer management sim. Thing is, you're even further removed from the game itself as you're cast in the role of a wheeler-dealer director out to make a fast buck. Dull or what? The verdict, graphics, 5%. Some of the words are different colours. Sonics, 0%. No sounds at all. You could crunch the biscuits loudly. Grab factor, 36%. It certainly is a novel idea. Staying power, 27%. Sheer dogged persistence might keep you at it. AA rating, 32%. It's definitely original, but sadly isn't very playable. All the delights of crooked share dealing await. Okay. Okay. Going. Get this over with. Song directed by Steve Bye, translated by Dan Maskell for GTI Software. Copyright 1990. Please wait. Look, how are we scrolling? A. Quit. B. Save this game. C. Load a saved game. D. Weeks per season. E. Continue. Continue, I guess. You know what? Go back to the game options again. Weeks per season. Look at 10. Oh. Betting menu. What's in the betting menu? FA Cup winner, league winner, relegation. Who's going to be the FA Cup winners? Southampton? Nah. Oh, they're going to be relegated. They're most likely to be relegated. Do it be 18-1? Why do they have the best odds? Bet on Manchester United. Sure, work. Loan available. Make share offer. Full share betting. 60 shares owned. Please wait. With shares in all of them. Okay. Let's start playing a season. Auto results, manual results. We'll go auto. Get over with. Week 1. Oh. 9 wins, 1 draw. Your shares value 0%, £0. Continue. I have no idea what I'm doing. Obviously, 7 wins, 3 draws. Shares owned. I don't own any shares, do I, huh? Perhaps I should have done that first. Same for menu 1. Buy sell shares. Buy the cheapo shares. How many? 10. Exit. Form tail. Could I sort this? Could sort this? That would be more useful. Okay, we'll buy some shares in Nottingham Forest, shall we? $20. That's really a lot of money. Oof. I'm adding that up wrong. Oh no, that's a lot of money. Okay. Exit. Play the season. Let's continue. It's quicker. Draw, 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 draw. That's a lot of draws. 5 wins, 5 draws. Quarterfinals. Team still in. Okay. making money. Continue. Uh-oh. Which is valued £20,400. Making a little bit of money. Little bits of money. Continue on. This is exciting. It's only slightly different. Keep going. Didn't work so well this time. So basically, teams that lose five p on their share price and get 10 increase on if they win. That seems rather simple. FA Cup still in the semi-finals. Ooh. She's valued 20,650. Not really a hell of a lot big increase there, is he? It's more money. Little tiny bits of money. On week 9. Supposed to be 10-week season, right? We'll just go through a season and then we'll leave it at that. Going up for the cup final. Share news. Alright, week 10 should be it, right? Share value's at least gone up slightly. Season 1 FA Cup winner, Norwich. Please wait, calculating table. Alright. Norwich won the FA Cup. They also got relegated. Interesting. The season press